let me see. Let me answer one more question. What processor, speed, graphics, memory would you recommend? I want to say that we did a helpline session on this. So let me go over to Brightman Designs. Let's go back to Brightman Designs. And then let's look at our blog and see if I can't find this helpline session. Modern Light. I know we did one on you might fish through a few of these. I won't do it live right now, but I know really the best place to go is videocardbenchmarks.net. This is where I always go, and I definitely did create a tutorial on how to pick the best machine. Now, first, I would recommend, I was going to build my own machine, and I like the idea of pricing out all these parts and picking everything and putting it all together. But once I did that and I found all these parts at Micro Center and Amazon and found a cool case and all this stuff, all right, and then I had my price put together, I went and talked to a local computer builder, and this guy came up with all my specs and better at a lower price. And he put it together, and he warrantied it. I mean, it's you really, I can't stress how much better it is just to have somebody put it together for you, unless you're truly a hobbyist and you just want to goof around and figure it all out for yourself. So I paid this gentleman to put the specs together. And anyway, what I recommend is going here and saying, I always recommend an NVIDIA GTX card. This GTX 1080 is benchmarking at about $12,000, and it runs about $600. If that's too heavy, this 980 Ti is $400, and this is the graphics card that is in the machine that I am running right now. So $400 for the performance I get. I always say lean on technique rather than hardware. So don't build sloppy models. Build them through the Condoc specs. Find good resources to download from, Form Fonts, where all the models are really nice and clean, and you won't have those problems. So lean on technique rather than hardware. But the other pointer I can give you on picking a graphics card is that these Quadro cards are massively expensive. And they are digitally, officially signed by Autodesk that they will work with Revit. I can tell you that for the last 15 years, I have not bought anything but GTX cards, and I have never had a single issue with running any CAD program, any of my 3D modeling programs. It has not been an issue, and I get way better performance for my money. So I highly recommend the GTX cards. Like I say, the 980 Ti, that's what I have. Also on here, you can go to CPU benchmarks, and you can go to high-end CPU chart, and then just look around, and what I would do is just kind of shop, maybe talk to a computer builder. I mean, they're gonna steer you in the right direction here. I mean, that's the best way. Or maybe go to Micro Center and just have one of those guys walk you through the process. But it's so worth it just to pay somebody to put it together for you. They'll give you the specs. You can go compare the specs on here and make sure that what you're paying for is benchmarking properly. But for Lumion, you really want a good processor, but you want an awesome graphics card, and you want a ton of RAM, and get a solid state drive. Those are awesome. Other than that, you expect to spend $2,000 to $3,000, and go for it. There's nothing worse than buying a computer that's already out of date. Just, spend the money, get the good stuff. That's what I say.